It's morning stuff with a smile in the Cultural Hall.
It is time for another episode of the Cultural Hall. It is an Articles of News episode. It is me, Richie T, and I'm joined by the news wizard, Verlin himself. Pleasure to be connected with you, my friend.
The pleasure
to be able
is
to
always
talk.
mine.
Oh, come on now. I'm looking forward to being able to talk about dates of our next live show. And sure, we could do that in a meeting that would be offline, but we're going to probably talk about that here in just a moment. Also, I'm excited to tell you a little bit about my adventures in vacationing and not working constantly. And I need to know, as we get close to the, let's get into the house. This house should be done. Where are we at with the house of destruction and reconstruction? Where are we at as far as all that goes? So thank you for taking time out of your busy consulting day and being able to visit with me.
No, my pleasure, as always. Seriously, enjoyable.
So let's start with your house.
Oh, you want to go there? Okay.
Yeah.
Lots is going on in the house. Okay. The builder is saying he is not sure what day it's going to be finished.
Sure.
So,
and originally the date was end of October, right?
Originally, no, it was November 18th.
Okay. So as we record this, that would be tomorrow.
That's correct.
Okay.
And there is no way we are going to be in tomorrow.
Sure,
So,
which is fine. You anticipate that.
we did.
Because,
We anticipated a 2 or 3 week, delay. 3-week delay would be great. 4-week would be okay. We could live with it. Anything beyond that, we're in big trouble. So,
and big trouble because you got the kids coming for
we got
Christmas?
kids coming for Christmas who are planning on staying at our place.
Okay.
So
And
we
they
had
could
that
sleep in the
conversation
dust.
with the builder this morning and said, we understand delays. We understand what is the final date. By the way, no pressure, but we have 3 grandkids and a daughter coming to spend Christmas with us because their husband is deployed.
Yep.
And so it needs to be done by mid-December.
Did you look at him and say, do you hate the military? Is that why you're taking so long?
That's right, exactly.
You hate this country?
I didn't play that card yet, but there's
No,
a
not
strong
yet.
one. I can use that one.
Yeah,
I can use
leave
that
it
one.
to Susan. You let her do what she's good at.
Susan's having a rough day today between that and the fact that she was reported to BYU standards. She's currently taking BYU Idaho courses.
Okay.
And she was reported to BYU standards by no one other than her professor, who is accusing her of making up her paper that she just turned in.
So shouldn't she make up her paper that she just turned in?
It's a family relations class. You're supposed to write about a family situation that could be very stressful and how you're managing it. And she's writing all about our home being under construction and us living with our daughter-in-law and son and their 2 grandsons and all of that going back and forth. She turned the paper in on Friday, and she just got a note this morning from her professor that the professor believes she made the whole thing up. It's not a true situation, and she reported her to standards already.
Okay. What do you do? Like, what do you do with that? So then it goes to a board, a group of people who say, "Hey, Susan, did this really happen?" Yes. And then that seems like that's the end of it.
We'll get the bishop's signature. If you want the whole stake president to sign off on the truth of this, they all know, they've all visited the house.
Yes. Is it because it's so outlandish? It's stranger than fiction? Is that?
Maybe so. Maybe
Okay.
so. Susan said that the teacher provided a tool, the professor provided a tool that when you write your paper, you run it through this tool to make sure that there isn't any issues with plagiarism or with too much AI use. She ran it through the tool, and the tool gave her a rating that said it was perfectly acceptable.
Okay.
So she turned it in, and now the professor is saying she believes it's made up. So I don't know what she's basing it on.
And for clarity, your wife didn't use AI or any of those things. Like she wasn't.
She wrote her paper, and then she ran it through AI to make sure that it fit all of the requirements that were listed. And I can't remember the name of the requirement set that the professor requires. But then she ran it through her own rating tool and the professor's rating tool, and it gave her a rating that said, "Yep, this is your paper.
Okay,
it's not too AI heavy." So
yeah, so that okay,
blows
all right.
my mind, and so it concerns me that the professor didn't think to pick up the phone or send a text or send an email that said, "Hey, by the way, I think this has some issues. Can you help me understand this?" Instead of that, she just immediately sent it to honors, reported her, and informed her via email, "I've reported you to the honors, and you can be kicked out." So
this will be a kind of a different side tangent, but what is your wife doing? She's back at BYU Idaho.
She's
is she
back
finishing
at BYU,
a degree, or
finishing
what is
her
she doing?
degree? Yeah,
Okay.
she's finishing her degree, and she was trying to finish it in social work, and started a couple of years ago. And last year they dropped her major, and so she's now majoring in something else that allows her to take all the same courses and then apply to the same graduate programs.
Okay. And how far away is she from?
I think about a year.
Okay. Have you looked at her at all? And danger, be prepared to duck if you do this.
She listens to this. So.
Have you thought about just being like, is it worth it? And
I
know
I'm trying to be the encouraging,
Yes,
partner
yes.
and spouse and husband, but she has to make that call herself.
Yes, 1,000%. And I know I knew that would be how you would answer it. But it's like I've contemplated going back and taking an institute class because I'm literally one institute class away from graduating from
gosh.
institute.
Yeah.
It all kind of came down when I was excommunicated. And surprising, they won't let you, they won't let you be an institute graduate when you've been excommunicated. Anyway. So I've thought about taking it, and there's part of me that's like, that's the box that's not checked. That's the incomplete thing. And, I am a rallying cry for any of those things. And then also my wife sometimes has to say, are we doing this because it's a box unchecked, or are we doing this because it's the betterment of, your life or you, whatever the thing is?
And
So-
in her case, I think she wants the degree. I mean, we met at BYU. We were both on the same track. She got pregnant, and it forced her to delay some classes. And then as soon as we graduated, we moved to New York, and she hadn't had a chance to continue.
Yep. So,
But I will tell you, based on this circumstance and a half a dozen others over the last 2 years, BYU Idaho may be great at doing continuing education, but there are some things that are not so great about their continuing education as well.
her experience has not been one that she would
Hasn't
recommend
been
to
stellar.
others. Yeah. Well, I mean, since you got your wife pregnant and didn't allow her to, fulfill her dreams, you basically controlled and oppressed her. She had to
That
be
is
supportive
true.
to you.
That's right.
It only seems fitting that you have to be the supportive one, because finally now she gets to do the things that she wants to do, Verlin, after backing your butt for years.
And
now she gets
did
the
do
house
that.
she
She
wants,
did do
and I know, I'm just teasing. I'm of course just teasing.
I know.
And if she gives you any sort of grief of it, you can have her call me. Actually, you know what? Actually, just have her email me.
Contact at the Cultural Hall, Susan.
Yeah. If you're taking issue with this, just contact at theculturalhall.com, Susan. You and anybody else. I love when you're on doing episodes with me, because I ask everyone to kind of put together, hey, these are some stories that I like to do. And you're one that actually does it. For this
Most of the
particular
time.
episode, you have said, hey, there's some opening exercises, and then there's some good, and there's some bad and ugly, and all of these different things. I
Even the
appreciate.
sustained, seal, and opposed.
Is that what we're calling the smooch, marry, divorce,
smooch,
kill?
marry, divorce, kill, whatever. Yeah.
Okay, so sustain,
Sustain
seal.
is like smooch. Seal
Okay.
is like marry. Right?
Okay.
And
And
divorce
any
and kill
opposed
is
is
like
divorce,
any
kill?
opposed. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. It's not as electric
Yeah,
as
we need
smooch, marry,
yeah,
kill.
True.
True. But it is okay.
We can
So
do
we'll play
smooch, marry,
that. as
kill.
well.
I'm all right with
Okay.
that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Do you want to play the irreverent version or the less irreverent version? Did you see?
I say we play both of them.
Okay.
Because there's one of them I don't actually know, so I need to know more about the story, so I can maybe have you tell me a little bit about it. My vacation, here is what was great about my vacation. This is what you have that you would like me to address in these
Yes,
the opening
return and
exercises.
report.
Yeah, so we went to Oregon and stayed at Molly the
Oregon
Ash
or Oregon?
Ashton's. Oregon. We drove through the Nevada. No, we didn't.
Good.
And stayed at her place. It was incredible.
Are they right on the shore?
Yeah, literally, it was.
You can see the waves breaking.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Awesome.
I mean, they're down below because it's Oregon. It's not like
Yeah, it's off a
Hawaiian
cliff.
beach property or something like that. So you kind of have to find your way down. But spacious, super cool. So giving of her to say, hey, we had to pay for like the cleaning, because they had to have someone come in and clean
least.
after us.
Yeah.
But beyond that, I was like, let me pay you more. I don't know what you're, Airbnb-ing this at, but I know it's not just the cleaning fee. And she's like, no, please. It does my heart good. And we were only there 2 nights because she had a reservation before us and a reservation after. So we just sort of fit ourselves
Snuck it in. Yeah.
But it was unreal. It was absolutely beautiful.
That's fantastic.
A great job that they've done with it. The home is beautiful. Tons of rooms. Like if you are a large family doing like what Verlin is not going to be able to do at his home for Christmas, think about going to Oregon and doing this particular home, because it was so many bedrooms, and like if you don't like some of your kids, you can put them in the one part of the house and you wouldn't have to deal with them. And there was a guest room. They closed off the garage and made it like an entertainment room and ping pong. It's just incredible, the whole thing. But to my wife's favorite part, it really was like bedroom window. There was the ocean. Open the window.
Awesome.
Hear the
waves,
drunken party
hear it.
next door until they go to bed, and then hear the waves.
So planting a seed here. What about a cultural hall host weekend?
Well, don't think that I 1,000% didn't think that, because I did. I thought, how cool would it be? I'm in this room and
For us to learn to hate each other because we have to live together for 3 days.
and we keep the cameras on for 24 hours.
Oh, I love it.
It's Big Brother, Big Elder, Big, I don't know, there's something in there. But I did think, oh man, how cool was it to be able to have, to share that sort of more time together. Loved the live episode. Taylor and I talked about that, Old One Chain. I know that you've expressed that you love it because you want to do it again, and I sort of feel similarly, have had mind on where can we do it and what can we do and how could that be a big deal. And,
Heck,
it's interesting.
You invested in the headphones.
Yeah. And not cheap headphones.
No.
So thank you, everyone who's gone to patreon.com/The Cultural Hall and has found value in what we do by pledging some money that way.
And there's value in that Patreon. I love that I get to see the early feed of the video of every episode. So when did you post the feed with you and Taylor?
Yesterday,
the most recent
sometime.
episode. Yeah, late yesterday, and it showed up, and I got to listen to it right away. It was great.
So yeah, I would love to do something like that. Right now, I'm focused because we are barreling towards 1,000, episode 1,000, and I don't know what we're going to do for that. And it falls at the absolute worst time unless I just sort of hesitate in publishing episodes.
A little bit.
Yeah, yeah. I've thought about doing like 999 and a half, 999 and 3/4 just to get us into the new year.
Yeah.
But I think likely what we'll do is we'll do a 1,000th episode celebration, and it will actually be episode 1005 or something like that. But we'll just call it our 1,000th episode celebration.
Yeah. Okay.
So
sounds good.
Something like that. Leatherby's I thought might be cool. We'll talk about this later in this episode. But I thought because there are private rooms up at the roof, I thought that could be kind of a fun thing.
That would be great.
Yeah. I also have begun to think and may even put this into motion an LDS podcasters conference. So that might be something brought by the Cultural Hall. So I don't know. We'll see. I may also get booked on a lot of gigs and then not do any of this and just be like, it was a fun thing to think about for a minute.
That's what you get to choose. You're the owner. You're the boss.
Yeah. I get agency.
Or as Eric Church would say, you're the chief.
Yeah. I'm not sure who Eric Church is. No, I'm just
Wait
teasing.
a second.
I'm just teasing. Yeah, he's a rapper, right? Old Eric Church, the rapper?
That's right. I'd call him a rock and roll / country artist.
Oh, yeah. No, he does the rock and roll country.
Mostly, yeah.
Yeah. There's different, there's the rap country, which in the last couple of years has been a big deal. People don't necessarily like that.
I have a hard time with it.
It's okay.
I don't know.
It's okay.
And I like almost every kind of music.
When we reach a certain age, we begin to... That's not okay with me.
Force me to do. You're going to force me, and I'm going to go out and listen to a whole bunch of modern rap and
you should.
Current stuff.
Yeah, no, I'm loving this. I'm loving this. I can't even think of who that would be.
I've been to a rap concert in a couple of years. So
yeah, I don't think they're called rap concerts. That just indicates to me like a rap show.
Okay,
I don't even think that.
Whatever.
Here's the thing. I don't even think they call it rap anymore.
We call them rock concerts.
Yeah,
R&B. Yeah, hip hop.
Yeah, right? I don't know that people call it rap shows. I think we are two guys that should not be talking about rap shows.
Yeah. Hey,
That's
I
gonna be the
remember the
name of
first
the
rap
episode.
song I ever listened to.
Which one?
Rapper's Delight, 1980. Was it 1979, 1980, somewhere in there? And then Deborah Harry came out with her version.
I'm just writing down the title of this episode. Is this a rap show? All right. Let us take a break. When we come back in the second half, we will do actual articles of news.
Looking for a gift that's meaningful and unique? Discover the artistry of Latter Day 3D Studio, where we 3D print exquisitely detailed temple magnets, Christmas ornaments, temple ties, and more. Each item is meticulously crafted layer by layer to bring the spirit of the temple into your home. These creations make ideal gifts for baptisms, ordinations, or birthdays in primary, young women, or Relief Society. Visit LatterDay3DStudio.com and find the temple that inspires you. Latter Day 3D Studio, where faith meets craftsmanship.
Let me take just a moment to tell you all about bestdjinutah.com. That is the website where you can learn all about me. Oh, sure, you probably feel like you know me, but you know me in the cultural hall sense. I have a DJ company, now 6 of us strong, great event hosts, MCs, and DJs that can be able to make whatever event you have coming up absolutely spectacular, and hope you will reach out to us. Now you're thinking, well, wait a minute, Richie, I don't live in Utah. Would you travel? Absolutely, I would travel. Would they travel? Absolutely, they would travel. Whatever your event is, doesn't have to be a wedding or a community event. We can do all sorts of things. I can teach you line dancing. I can dance with you. We can do partner dancing. We can do all kinds of things, but we can't do any of it if you don't hit me up. You can go to bestdjinutah.com. You can fill out the form to get more information or get a quote, and then I will get right back to you. Find out why I'm so busy and why sometimes we don't get episodes of the Cultural Hall. It's all because of bestdjinutah.com. Here in the second half of Articles of News, we do actual articles of news. Hit it, Peter.
You can't lose articles of news.
And away we go. I already started into it, so let's talk about the roof. The roof is on fire.
Yeah.
We don't need no buffet. Let this burn.
I get sad every time I think about this.
Because you loved the buffet?
I loved the combination of a very nice buffet. This was not a cheap,
No.
low quality buffet. It was
No.
a very nice buffet attached to always good memories and a great view.
Yep.
It all goes together for me. And now that there's not a buffet, I'm in mourning, but I'm sure when I go to my first dinner there, it'll be fine and I'll recover.
I looked at the menu. It looks like it's going to be delicious there. Spoiler, because this has been closed for a couple years, like going to the roof during the holidays, even though they don't do the lights on Temple Square like they used to, it's still, there's something magical about being able to go up there and do it. So reservations, as people are discovering that the roof is reopened, will go quickly.
Yeah.
We always used to go to a grandchildren like celebratory dinner. My grandparents would do at the end of every school year, no parents, so no aunts and uncles. It was only the grandkids. And you got to go to this thing, and we did it at the roof, and we did it at the restaurant at the Wilkinson Center before,
Okay.
and a lot of these things. And
What's that one called? That one's called the...
I don't know.
The Tree Room? No, the Tree Room's the one up at Sundance, I think.
Yeah, no,
My
I don't.
parents had their 50th wedding anniversary at the one at the Wilkinson Center.
And it was okay. It was good.
Yeah, it was
It was
good.
fine. Here, buffet is hard to make good. It like saying it was a good buffet.
Oh,
Like
I don't
you,
know.
you have to you have to love the charm of the buffet.
Yes. I've been to some amazing buffets, but they're typically in very high-end restaurants at events
Yes.
that I've been to.
Yeah. So like because let us not forget the thanks that we owe to the folks at Chuckarama. I love a Chuckarama buffet.
Hey, I am all in on the Chuckarama buffet. You get what you expect you're going to get, and
Yep.
it's exactly that, and 100% good at that.
Yeah, and it tastes the same, and it's sweet, and it's savory, and it's
That's right.
too much.
And I
it's-
didn't get enough of it at our live taping, so
Yeah.
next time.
Well, I'm sure they'll let us do it again.
Yeah.
So maybe we do a different location. We could do the Utah County Chuckarama. Pick up some of the Utah County folks. But I actually am grateful for just these specific menu items. But there is a certain charm about it that feels lost. I bet
The location's beautiful.
Yeah.
I'm sure the menu is fantastic, and
Yeah.
and you're right. The view is impossible to replicate anywhere else.
So it's open. Go or don't
Yep.
go. I don't know. I don't know why there's 100 articles about it, but okay.
Yeah, they keep bringing out new articles. It's like every time they give us an update on the temple, they now have to mention the roof. By the way, the temple, the new pictures that have been posted, they're unbelievable. The
Go
assembly
on.
room itself is gorgeous.
Go on.
What's the excuse we can ever get to be able to go to an assembly meeting in that room?
Never.
I mean,
We don't get to.
I've been to solemn assemblies before. I've been in Toronto. I've been in the Washington, D.C. temples. And they were wonderful meetings. But I had to be living in that temple district to have
Yeah,
those
and you're not
meetings.
high enough on the old thing there, Verlin.
Yeah, well, I can't create the meeting. That's for sure.
No. You're not going on your LDS tools and going.
I could do some.
I'd like to book
lobbying.
this room.
I could do some lobbying. Elder Matt Holland, help us out here.
Elder Holland, please. The younger Elder Holland.
Elder Holland the Younger. Did I tell you I ran into him at Culver's?
No.
I was in the Culver's in Orem, Utah. I was
Okay.
there late after a BYU football game getting some dinner for myself because I was so excited at the game I hadn't eaten anything. And I'm
Okay.
standing there and someone taps me on the shoulder and I turn around and it's Elder Matt Holland and his wonderful wife Paige.
Okay.
And we sat there and chatted while I was waiting for my order to be handed to me.
And what? Because I had a run in with Elder Matthew Holland the Younger earlier this year.
Oh, good for you.
What I asked him was, "So your dad was in pretty bad shape, huh?" And he's like,
I
"Oh
didn't
yeah."
ask him that. I asked
Yeah.
him how his daughter was doing because she was in our YSA branch for a
Okay.
while. Yeah.
Do you think I overstepped?
Not at all. I think
Because
he'll
he-
roll with anything.
Well, because he spoke to it and was like, "Oh yeah, we did not think
Yeah.
that we had sort of." He didn't say it this way, but we had sort of said goodbye because it was bleak, and then
Yeah.
rallied like only one blessed and called and all that could do,
Sure.
right?
Now, I don't want anyone to get the wrong impression. But he's a person who, when you're one-on-one with him, he is very good one-on-one with
Yeah.
individuals. He is obviously sincere and down to earth, and he's willing to have any conversation with you that you bring up. I think some general authorities aren't quite as easygoing as that, based on my personal experience, at least.
Well, so he did a whole back when I used to work in radio. The name of the show that I worked on was called Radio from Hell, and when he was the president of UVU, he kept toe to toe with those guys for
Nice.
25 or 30 minutes. He sat down talking about the future of the university and stuff like that. But it's very obvious the second you look at him at all that it's Elder Holland's son,
Totally.
and
you
in
can't
demeanor
mistake the
and
look.
talk and all that. Like I mean, they could have gone after him a little bit, and he just was like, "No, here we go," and this, and it was great. It was great.
Yeah, it's great.
You know what's not great is the old BYU basketball team. I messaged you Saturday morning, said, "Hey, what's your thing?" And you're like, "I'm watching sports all day." I actually, because of our conversation, popped on the BYU Yukon game.
Yeah. What
And,
a great game. My
Yeah,
gosh.
geez, what a terrible first half.
Yeah.
We ended up because I'm such a sports guy, ended up losing.
You were playing.
But not by much.
When you lose, when you're a top 10 ranked team, they're a number 3 team ranked above you, and you lose by one basket, seems like that's exactly the way it's supposed to be.
Yes. Yep.
And when
Great
you play
game.
such a terrible first half, and when you're missing one of your starters, we'll talk about that here in a moment.
That's where I was going.
I figured. When you're missing one of your starters and you pull that off and you come back like that, I'm excited about this season.
Yeah. So Kennard Davis, he is a guard. Kennard the guard is pretty great. He was involved in a car crash and subsequently cited with driving under the influence, according to Provo Police. This is last Thursday.
Thursday morning, it was like 11:45 a.m.
Was the first thing that I went, wait a minute. Now, I have no reason to believe that the Provo Police Department it wasn't accurate in their assessment of the situation, but that signifies maybe a deeper level of trouble. So all this is alleged.
Let's remember that not only alleged, but driving under the influence is not just alcohol. It's not
that's a
just
fair point.
marijuana. It's
That's a fair
any substance. And so some of the reports that have come out afterward have suggested, I don't know how credible, but they've suggested that he was on some prescription medication and driving under the influence of that medication.
Okay. So the thought is driving under the influence. Most people go to the idea of alcohol. Obviously, alcohol becomes an honor code issue, and then there's a suspension of a certain amount of games. Speaking with Kevin Young, that's his name.
Yep,
the coach,
Kevin Young.
He said, we're waiting to call what we're going to do as far as suspension and how much and all that.
Well, I think they're still doing the research just in the discovery process. And so rather than push the limits and have Davis play, the way that the press reported it was Kevin Young made a coach's decision and said, let's sit this one out while we figure the rest of the situation out.
So here is where I'm a horrible person, fully admitting it. I saw it come up in the news feed, and I thought, I wonder if it's a recruiting situation like we did with DeBonsa, where we said, hey, come play here, or if this is a guy who is, he's come up through the ranks of BYU, he's a member of the church, and BYU was the obvious fit for him. And I felt some level of I don't know, the judgment isn't the right word, but I felt some level of it doesn't matter. But I sort of was disappointed in myself that I questioned that about him, where I wouldn't have if it was someone who looks like Richie Saunders. I would have been like, oh yeah, that's a different sort of scenario. So that's my bad, and I owned it. I feel bad about that. But
I don't think that's bad. I do believe they recruited him out of the portal. I believe that he came, but I also have seen and heard enough, and maybe I'm just too much of a blue-goggled BYU fan.
You are.
But they talk to these players and try to find a cultural match, and they're really looking for players who are taking basketball and life seriously and are not looking for a college experience where they're drinking and carousing and doing all the things you find at other campuses. And I think they do a pretty good job of vetting.
Yep.
But as we know, even with members of the church that have signed on to the honor code, there are occasionally issues. There have been for as long as I've known about BYU athletics. And so this very well could be. But I'm waiting for the allegations or for the research to be done and for them to figure out was he really on a prescription med and shouldn't have been driving? That's still a driving under the influence.
Sure.
Or was he abusing something?
Sure.
And either way, he should pay the consequences.
Yeah. I also find, and this is, so I used to be a pretty, radical would not be the right word for it, but blue-goggled BYU fan. But when Brandon Davies, was that his name?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
When everything happened with that, and I had Jimmer fever, and we were going to go and sweep the whole thing.
We were going to go to the Final Four with Brandon and Jimmer
and
JT Tavanari. Episode of the Cultural Hall,
of course,
on the same team.
And then that ends up that there's an honor code violation and he can't play. So hear me very loudly. BYU, as a private institution, religious or non, can make whatever rules they would like it to do. I'm not saying that. As the church, I have the expectation that they would not only lay out the honor code, but also adhere to the honor code. I think it would be so hypocritical if they're like, yeah, but Brandon, it's fine. We really want this one. We'll get you in the off season. That's when you'll be suspended. I think that's disgusting. But because of the age of kids that are playing athletics at BYU, I know that I'm just going to have my heart broken, and so I just had to let it go.
Well, I guess I'm just a sucker for punishment. But
Yeah,
I had the same feelings. I really admired BYU for asking Brandon to step away.
Yep. Yeah, because they could have.
They could have figured out a way, but they would have lost respect in my eyes, and I'm sure in lots of other people's eyes.
Sure.
But apply the honor code evenly, whether you're an athlete or not, whatever the circumstance. If you break the honor code, it's proven. You suffer the same consequences, whether you're a student, athlete, or a student, or whatever the case may be, or a faculty member.
Now, what I will say, and this comes from having listened to Macy Neely's book, One of the Secret Lives of Mormon Wives. She got pregnant while she was a BYU athlete, right? And they said, hey, obviously there are some honor code issues here, and you're creating a baby inside of you. It's a little different to try, even if she wanted to have tried to hide it,
You can't.
Yeah, you can't, right? It's drinking. Okay, now I'm sober and I won't drink again, right? Or whatever the other thing may be. The thing that I was particularly impressed, and why Carrie Farnes, who doesn't think she should read the books that I think that we should read, is I loved reading in that book that, like Tom Holmoe, the former athletic director at BYU, and others were so supportive of her to say, man, you're such a great athlete. This happened, and
we love
can't.
you.
Yeah, we can't
want to
wait
help
for
any
you
way
to
we
come
can.
back.
Yes.
Yep. We are arms wide open when you come back, and that's a thing that I always kind of hoped would be true, but didn't know if it were true.
Yeah.
And she had in that and many in other circumstances, no reason to say, oh yeah, they totally were like that if they weren't totally like that. But I am grateful to know that it's not, give her the scarlet letter A and then let's shake the bells and say shame as she walks by, that we're recognizing
And that's a culture that's been at BYU for a long time. There was an athlete, a fairly well-known football player who played while I was at BYU, and he was asked to leave for a year and then came back and did his senior year and then was drafted into the NFL and played for many years for the Eagles. And they handled him exactly the same way, and Brandon Davis the same way. And from what I understand, it sounds like they handled Jake Retzloff in a very similar way. And it was a very amicable, supportive parting of ways. I'm still mad that my UNC Tar Heels did not pick up Jake, because they would have been a different team this year. But BYU has that culture, and what I'm hoping is they apply that same culture to non-athletes.
Yeah.
That everyone in that circumstance gets to feel that love and kindness and doesn't feel ostracized.
Yeah. I noticed this is just a complete aside because people have, I think, this wandering curiosity. I saw that Tulane finally made it into the top 25.
They did.
And he's throwing for him, right?
He's the reason they made it to the top 25.
Yeah,
and to his credit, they couldn't give him a scholarship without him showing up and proving that he would be the lead quarterback. And so he walked on technically to the team, knowing that he would have to prove himself, but also being confident that he could get it done. And he did.
Look, I'm talking sports. I know things. Did you see that?
That was great.
Did
We're
you see me
boring
know a
some people
sport
to
thing?
death, so we better move on from
Yeah,
sports.
please take it. Where do you want to go?
Let's go to the birth of Jesus. Seems like an important thing to cover.
Boy, that is a hard shift. Let's go.
From athletics to Jesus.
Yeah.
They announced the giving machines, and they announced a whole new set of locations and countries and lots of other things about the giving machines. And so I think it's wonderful that we're celebrating the birth of Christ. We're celebrating the support of lots of different service organizations, and we're going to have giving machine kiosks in 126 cities, 21 different countries on 6 continents, which is wonderful. That's awesome.
I saw some of the media coming out, and I know that all of these individuals were a part of it last year, but it seemed like they were new videos that, like Donny Osmond was in Kansas City, and Andy Reid, and you got your Taylor Swift's boyfriend, and you got Mr. Mahomes, all saying, "Hey, go out
Patrick.
and go to the giving machines."
The other thing I've learned because of Susan's closeness to these organizations is if you get your act together early and you apply for one of the giving machines and write a good case, you're going to get one. If you don't do a good job of it, we don't have one in Raleigh. Susan was just called to be the state communications director, and it turns out that's the kind of key role, along with the state president, working together that gets one of these machines. So she wasn't able to get to it in time. But we have one in Charlotte, North Carolina, which I'm sure we'll make a trip a couple of hours away to check out.
Okay. So maybe it's Charlotte this year, Raleigh next year.
That's right.
And by that I mean, I know if Susan's at all responsible for it, that will be what occurs.
I would expect so.
Yeah. I would expect nothing less.
Yeah, in fact, they did something pretty spectacular in the last 2 weeks. They learned that the church had some extra funds to provide to charitable causes because of a budget surplus due to so few hurricanes this year. Susan jumped on it immediately, got with our stake president, wrote a proposal to Salt Lake, and 48 hours later, they gave a gift of $75,000 to one of the food banks and another gift of $25,000 to a local diaper bank to provide diapers and formula for new mothers who are in dire straits.
We've talked about how she's too good for you, right? Have we
She
talked
is.
about that? Okay.
She's fantastic.
I mean, not that you're not great, right? I don't want to be like,
Even if
Verlin is-
BYU Idaho's trying to kick her out, she's still a fantastic
Well,
person.
she's a cheater. That's what they say. cheater, pumpkin eater.
I'm the cheater. I'm the one that breaks all the rules when we play board games.
I think it's just absolutely incredible that there will be 4,000 items that will
Isn't
be
that cool?
available this year from over
Yeah.
500 local nonprofit organizations.
And these
So-
local nonprofits are, I'll read through them quickly. American Red Cross, CARE, Church World Service, Days for Girls International, fantastic group, Lifting Hands International, Mentors International, Right to Play Special Olympics, Splash.
Got to be a water
U-
or something? What's Splash? I don't
would
know.
think so. I don't know. But that,
Okay,
that
keep
sounds
talking
cool.
and I'm
USA
gonna look.
for UNHCR, UNICEF, and Water for Good. Those are the 12 organizations that will get the vast majority of those items.
Splash brings kids clean water.
Oh, fantastic. Great.
So,
So it's not swimming pools. It's,
I know.
it's potable water. Okay.
yeah. Or potable. Is it potable?
One of those. I think either one is acceptable.
Well, when I was in Nevada, they said it's potable.
Good, good.
So stupid,
And I love
so
the fact that in this case, Emily Bell Freeman, of course, Young Women's General President, and Sister Yi from the Relief Society Presidency are the two leaders that are kind of leading out in this effort. And I think it's good that we have sisters leading out in these kinds of things.
Absolutely. I think it's interesting, too. No one comment about this, but I remember seeing this picture, and maybe we'll leave a link for it in the show notes. But Emily Bell Freeman definitely wearing the new garments when she
Yes.
spoke at General Conference.
Yes.
Without question.
No doubt. No doubt. It was great.
It seems like some
And
people
and-
talked about it, and I don't want to underwear check anyone, but I
No.
did, I heard this, we probably listened to the same thing, and it's like, when are one of these women going to wear this in a public forum? And it's like, already happened.
Yep,
Done already.
It was done. And I try very hard not to underwear check anybody. It's something I've never worried about, except I was sitting in church yesterday in Sunday school, and the woman sitting in front of me, who happened to be our previous stake president's wife, was obviously wearing something that was only wearable with the new garments.
Incredible.
And it was awesome. It was awesome. And then on the other side of me was sitting the Relief Society president in slacks. And so I thought that was wonderful.
I did a blue motif for my church worship service yesterday. Blue pants.
blue?
Yeah,
Oh,
blue and a
okay.
blue shirt. Normally I'm a white shirt guy, but I'm a medium level starch in my shirts because I like
Me too. Me
'cause
too.
I
I like a
that.
little structure. A little
Yeah.
structure is good. Yeah.
And I just didn't feel like having a little structure yesterday. So I just said, you know what? I'm gonna wear this comfy blue shirt. Felt good about it.
Well,
no
since
regrets.
since we were clear that the favorite part of my face is my eyes as well, I typically wear blue of some kind on Sundays.
I think that this is interesting. I was about to break into you're a grand old flag, you're a high flying flag. But the United States of America, that is these United States, that is the old USA.
These 50
Yeah.
and Puerto Rico. Don't forget Puerto Rico.
And Guam. Don't forget Guam.
Yes, you're right.
Don't
Guam.
forget
And
Virgin
the
Islands.
U.S. Virgin Islands. Correct.
Yes. There's other Virgin Islands. We don't
There
talk
are the
about
British
those.
Virgin
Yeah.
Islands. Yeah.
But we are in a country where we can be adamantly against something for years and years, and then in one night we can change our mind and flip-flop a team and be completely on board with that. That's what I love about these United States. Those United States, we turn 250 years old in 2026. And I thought it was super cool. I didn't know that the church was looking for a project to kind of glom onto, but this service and gratitude that the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints will do with our 250th anniversary is incredible.
Yeah, we're connecting to an organization called America 250 and focusing on initiatives that have to deal with service, family, history, and music. And I love that.
And giving food to a bunch of different shelters. Like over the time, there will be, I think they're doing like truckloads of food to different food pantries, like 250.
They've declared 250 semi-trucks.
Yep.
And I know that a semi-truck holds at least 3 tons of food.
It's
Because
between
we do-
38,000 and 40,000 pounds.
There you go. No, so that's a lot more tons of food than what I was estimating. But they're going to do this, and they're going to cover all 50 states. I wonder if they're going to get to Guam, Puerto Rico, and the
Well,
U.S.
it's not a
Virgin
state.
Islands somehow. I know,
not a
but
state.
they ought to get there. It's territories. And Washington, D.C. is not a state either, but it could use one of these trucks.
Well, it doesn't have representation, so they should not be paying taxes, and also they don't get any food for a food pantry.
There you go. There you go.
First ones that this will roll out to will be Eugene, Oregon, to Arkansas, Columbia, Missouri, Texas City, Texas. So much Texas in Texas. And then Grand Blanc, Michigan.
Yes.
Which
Do you think that was a last edition?
Yes.
Yeah,
I'm
I
sure
would
they
think so.
said, Michigan, where are we going to go? And everyone went, obviously, this is where it needs to be, right?
And when we say these are being delivered, we're talking about like tomorrow, right?
Yeah.
The first one arrives on November 18th in Oregon, the 19th in Arkansas, Missouri, and Texas, and Michigan. So this is in the next couple of days.
Here is a case I could make for Washington, D.C. getting one. Because why do we need to do one in Utah? A truckload of food, right?
I'll
The
bet
Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints does a crap ton for the Utah Food Bank already.
they do.
So,
Yeah.
so I mean, we do that already, and we would continue to do it. We're not trying
Let's
to get
spread
out
the
of it,
wealth
but let's
around.
let's spread the Commonwealth around. Huh?
Ooh, nice.
I guess actually, I don't
Very
think
nice.
D.C. is the Commonwealth.
No.
Maybe the Commonwealth of Virginia.
No. I think it's the Commonwealth of Virginia and the Republic of Texas.
Ah,
So,
shoot! Gosh,
Yep.
then Texas doesn't get any either. No, they said Texas City, Texas. It's all falling apart.
Yeah. No, I think it's wonderful. They didn't put a dollar sign on this, but think about 40,000 pounds of food 250 times over. And I help with the Bishop Storehouse almost twice a month. And it's amazing the quality, the content, the nature of this kind of food. I think it's a wonderful gift to the country for 250 years.
Yeah.
I do wonder, is there a term for 250 years? We know that 150 years is a sesquicentennial. That was drilled into my head when I was 14 years old, and the church celebrated 150 years. But now that we're going on 200 years of the church soon, we know that's a bicentennial. My question is 250 got a certain term?
Well, there are several. Would you like to know them?
Yes, please.
There is a semi-quincentennial. That's the most common term. Semi-quincentennial. There's a sestercentennial.
I like that one better.
S-E-S-T-E-R.
Not your sister, but a sester.
Yeah,
kind of like
sester-
the Spanish fork centennial. Your sister instead of your sister.
Ooh. A bisesquicentennial. That's the less common alternative term. Or, as AI would teach me, America 250. That's the
Yeah,
easiest.
that's good. I like that one. Yeah.
I think it's time we play the game that no one wants us to play. Sustain, seal, and any opposed. It's our version of smooch, marry, and divorce or kill. I'm going to say smooch, marry, kill from here on because divorce, we don't need to.
Well, you've been there. It's a little personal.
Oh,
Sorry.
okay. Whoa, shots fired. You're headed there for saying crap like that. How about that? Susan wants
There
you to
you
show
go.
up as a better person. Single. She's getting the house just
Too
right,
early
and
again?
then
It's
she'll
just
be
too
like,
early. It's too early.
she's going to get the house set and be like, hey, so we've been meaning to talk about something. Out. What? You made me
I
put up
shouldn't
with
laugh.
that? Okay, so the game, it's 3 things, and you have to pick to sustain, seal, or any opposed to the things. We'll do the less irreverent first. This is LDS adjacent media.
Really, movies, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So LDS adjacent movies, you have to decide whether you sustain, seal, or oppose these three movies. One is The Singles Ward. Mm-hmm. I think I saw that. I think I saw it like the year it came out.
Sure.
I haven't seen it since. The RM, and then Baptists at the barbecue.
At our barbecue.
At our barbecue.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
So
So,
what do you think? What's the
so
smooch,
seal is
marry,
like
and-
marry. So would I
Yeah, that's
marry?
right.
Okay. Okay, I've got mine.
Okay,
You have
I
yours?
got mine. What? Yeah, I do. You go ahead with yours.
Okay, I'm going to go first on this one, which means you have to go first on the irreverent, which means you're far more likely to get the hatred. So just so you know.
Yes. I'll go.
The less irreverent one, I think that I would marry the singles ward. I think that I would. Oh, I'm sorry. Seal. I would seal.
You
I
would seal the singles
I would
ward.
seal the singles ward. I would sustain the RM, and I would any opposed the Baptists at our barbecue.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
For some reason, the Baptists at our barbecue, it's totally kitschy and totally predictable. And for some reason, I'm going to put that into my sustain list.
Okay. So you're what? Who are you sealing?
So I'm going to seal, I think, the singles ward.
Okay. And you're
because
out
I
the
thought,
RM.
I thought it was
Jeez.
pretty. And then the RM, I'm going to say, but it's because it just falls into that category because of my feelings about the other two.
Okay. So it's not intentional that you want to kill them. See,
No.
it works so much better when it's smooch,
It
marry,
does.
kill.
Yeah, it does. So,
okay,
we
now-
don't have. We could say excommunicate. We
Yeah.
could say sustain, sail, and excommunicate. Again, that's a little too personal, I think, for some
Great.
who might be here.
Why are you taking all the shots today, pal?
You brought it up first.
My
friend.
my parents got divorced too. Do you want to talk about that in this episode?
No,
You
no
don't?
offense to anyone who's been through a divorce. It's very close to home from one of my siblings.
I want you to know-
another one of my family members.
I know Verlin very well, and offense is totally intended right now. He's being a little jerk today. Get a little saucy. He's ready to be in his
I'll have
house.
to change my behavior. I tell people that it's impossible to offend me, but maybe it's possible for me to offend you. So
Yep.
we'll do that.
Irreverent in
Irreverent.
the
Should we-
sustain,
should we-
seal, and excommunicate.
Okay.
The subject is the endowment session film. Now, are these from your nieces?
Yes.
Okay.
These
So
are
blame
from
it
the
on them.
beautiful McDaniel girls. So thank you, credit to them, and they need to send me some more.
So endowment session film Satan's is the
Tell me you don't have an opinion.
of course I have an
Satan's from the
opinion.
films.
Of course,
Yeah.
of course I have an opinion. People are
I
going
have
to
an
hate that we
opinion on
brought up
almost
the film.
All of the different characters in the film, I have an opinion on, but that's different time, place.
So I would love to know who specifically, and I wish I could see the face right now as we talk about this, because the three subjects of this are frat boy Satan, tall
Yeah.
bald Satan, or Maytag repairman Satan. And
No, it's not Maytag Repairman. I sent you an update. That was
that
a
was-
typo. So we're going to go with Frat Boy Satan, who I believe is kind of the short, very cocky kind of
Okay.
Satan.
Okay.
We've got the tall, bald Satan, who's from one of the newer films, and then we'll go with a live session Satan.
Oh,
as the
okay,
third
okay.
option.
well,
And we'll
knowing
talk
that
about
we
the
are going to
Maytag
get
Repairman when we're done.
we are going to get so much hatred for this. This is so irreverent because here's the.
No
Let me-
disrespect, seriously intended by any of this.
No, it's just a fun thing, and maybe we don't get so close to. I don't. But here was a thing that for me was a little bit hard for about a decade. Watching any films of the church, specifically those like For the Temple or like
Especially the ones that came out in the mid 80s.
not for me. That's not my time. But in my like the turn of the millennia, like 2000 to 2010.
Yeah.
The church used several of my friends in
Yeah.
the film.
They used a couple of BYU professors in the 80s films.
Yeah. So it is difficult for me when I watch any film, and if we want to take attention away from the temple for a second, like
Any
the legacy film, right? Remember
Yeah.
there was the
Yeah.
film that was there in the Joseph Smith movie. Like it was hard for me when it's like, here's the powerful moment. Here's the redemption of the saints. Here's the whatever the thing was, and it's like, oh no, that's Josh.
That's your
John-
buddy Josh,
Yeah.
who you were at a birthday party with the week before.
Yeah, right. Yeah, we were talking about girls we wanted to date just a week ago, me and Josh.
Yeah.
Or most famously, one of the Satans was a friend of mine who I went to high school with, and I remember just open mouth, agape. Like, what is going on here for me
That's
in that
awesome.
religious context at the point that it was my friend? Mm-hmm. So, given all that, that's why I feel it's all right that we can be able to do, and maybe that's just justification,
It's
right?
real people. It's
Yeah.
real people in real roles here. Yeah.
Slippery slope, gentlemen. Slippery slope. Pretty soon you start making light. So I think
Contact at the Culture Hall. That's the email.
Yeah. I think that what was the third one you said? It's Frat Boy Satan
Live,
Tall Boy.
live session. Live
Okay, so
session, Satan.
I love live session Satan. So I am sealing that. I wish that was
Okay,
for
okay.
eternity.
Yeah.
Eternity. Mm-hmm. I think I'm
And we
probably
want it back in Salt Lake. We're on record. We want live sessions in Salt
yeah,
Lake.
but it's not coming.
Uh,
Not coming.
they kept them in Manti.
They
Didn't
did.
they? Don't they do one
No,
session every?
no.
I thought they.
I
did
don't think
one.
so.
We
I don't think
need
so.
One in the church.
I do
to
not
hold on
think
to
so.
that historical relic.
I don't disagree with you, but I do not think live temple
need
session
one.
Manti, Utah. I think that it's gone.
Ugh.
Mhm.
That is it. That is a historical thing that we are losing. That
Yeah,
is a
they
big
ended.
Deal.
They announced that in 2021. So I agree with you. I think it's part of our heritage that should stick around.
I'm hereby appealing that heritage.
Well, geez.
Yeah.
Withhold your tithing, but you don't have much else you can. So I'm sealing live Satan. I'm
Okay.
I don't care much beyond that, if I'm being honest. I'm probably excommunicating frat boy Satan just because I hate those kind of people in general. And then tall, bald Satan. Listen, he needed an acting job. He had 5 kids by the time he graduated from BYU. Give the tall, bald Satan a break.
We're going to differ again.
Okay.
So I'm going to go with, I'm going to smooch the live.
Okay.
I think it's important. I think it's wonderful.
Sure.
I'm going to totally seal the frat boy Satan.
Okay. How come?
And there's a reason. Because you're supposed to hate Satan.
Oh, that's a fair point.
And
Fair
he does a
point.
great job of being that guy, and he's kind of snarky and smarmy and all the things, and I think he does a fabulous job of it. And then it's okay. The third one I can do without the tall guy.
Yeah. As a quick aside, we learned from Elder Gong about the AI and that they'll never create deity. I think they should totally AI create Satan.
I wonder that we could have a long discussion about this. Does that minimize who Satan really is and his role?
Well, I mean, having him be a person who is not a person.
Yes.
I
true.
think
he's
I think-
without physical form.
Well, no, so AI would create a
Yeah.
person that doesn't
It would.
exist. And
Yeah.
I think there's some symbolic nature of AI Satan that would be even more deviant than an actual person.
Yes, I like the thought.
Because I've felt bad for the church throughout the years. Several of the people who they have cast within the temple videos, they've had to discontinue the videos because those people have not only left the church but have been outright against the church,
Yeah.
and they can't have that, being a part of their,
True.
the most sacred
Well, and now
presentation.
they don't have the video really much anymore. It's now
Right.
slides.
Right.
It's easier to deal with. There is a piece of temple trivia that goes along with this. In the movies from the 80s, one of the apostles is played by the guy who, at the time, was in all of the Maytag Repairman commercials.
Jeez, really?
Yeah, Gordon Jump was his name. He was on
cool.
WKRP in Cincinnati for years, and then he ended up as the Maytag repairman for probably 5 years, right in the middle of my teenage youth, as I was a member of the Rising Generation.
Yeah.
And the first time I went to the temple, he was in the temple film. And I'm like, this is okay. Okay, I'm not going to take this too serious. The fact that I was giggling didn't help either, but, it was all good.
A couple quick stories. The church now recognized in Azerbaijan. The leaders of Azerbaijan, which is a fun thing to say, came to Utah.
Azerbaijan, yeah.
And we said, hey, welcome. And they said, great. And they said, we recognize you in our country. And we said, great. That's that story, paraphrased.
Yep. That's
And
done.
then, go ahead.
The church has responded to numerous typhoons in the Philippines over the last month. Tragic, in fact. At one point, one of our friends, their son is on a mission in the Philippines, and he was actually not in contact for about 72 hours. People weren't sure where he was and if he was okay. In the end, everything turned out okay. No issues with the missionaries. But huge devastation, and the church is already sending supplies, already sending resources to help in the Philippines.
Yeah. One thing that I find to be interesting is because of how we've positioned ourselves globally, we are able to respond that much quicker. So,
Yep.
Sometimes we talk about, they bought land here and that, and I know a lot of those are real estate holdings, but some of that is we now have a warehouse so that if there is a thing that happens in this part of the country, we don't have to get it all the way from over here. It can come from just over here, and we
when
can
you
respond
buy
that much
property,
quicker.
you can build warehouses on that property, and they don't have to be used for kiwi fruit, or they don't have to be used for bananas or oranges. They can be used for other things. So, yeah.
So kudos to us. I think that we'll save the foot story for another episode that'll be later this week.
What a tragic one, but
Yeah, absolutely tragic. No jokes.
I do have to put a pin in. You and Taylor talked about the new you talked about the new apostle. Right? We have a new presiding bishopric, which is made up of two of the members of the old presiding bishopric, plus a newly called member. But I do want to go on record and just make sure everyone understands and remembers, I chose Elder Kaze as the next apostle.
Of course you did. And do you want
And
to
I
gloat
won't
some more
mention
about
ever
it?
again. Nope, that's it. That's all I wanted to say, just on record.
I think it's notable to me their awareness, and I hope that we continue to see them go towards this, but their awareness about environmental concerns.
I totally agree. I love that. That's one of Elder Kaze as well as Bishop Waddell's causes. They are both very focused on the environment, and I would say responsibly carrying a stewardship from those resources which the Lord has given us.
I'm trying to make sure that what I'm about to say is accurate, so give me just 1 second. I just looked up. Oh, no. It's dated when it was. But I don't think, let me just double check. Yeah. If you go right now, as of this recording, November the 17th, 2025, if you look at the picture when you go to the churchofjesuschrist.org website, it is still Elder Kaze as the presiding bishopric. They have not updated the church's website. Yeah.
Wow.
Last updated the 12th of June, 2024.
That's a surprise.
Usually I feel like we're super on top of it, but
Especially at that level.
Yes.
Now, what we are not on top of is the church messaging system that they give to ward leaders and quorum and class leaders to use. But on the website with these kinds of things, usually they're right on top of things.
yeah. Go out and leave a review for your local ward building on Google. What a great building. Or if you ever get bored in church.
Have you ever read those?
Oh my gosh. I think that might become a segment of the show. I
need to go out and do a review. I need to do one of those reviews. Yeah, I tripped in the hallway and scraped all the skin off my body as I leaned against the wall to stop from falling. Yeah.
There are some. I mean, there are some where people are just being nasty and terrible, but there are some that I'm just like, yeah, that's so great, so spot on. So you didn't know that, but you could. That is me and Verlin and everyone else, hope that this episode has nourished and strengthened your body.
And if you weren't healthy enough to listen this week, you'll be healthy enough to listen next week.
And that when the time comes, you, that is the collective you, will be able to travel home in safety. In the meantime, go Tar Heels. Chocolate Cake Spite Podcast. Come on, Verlin. You got
Debbie
Wanless. Alpine Lakes Travel.
Alpine Lakes Travel.
And
I thought you had a card sitting in front of you now to
no,
read this
I don't.
off.
I don't.
I need to put the card in front of me.
I don't have a card in front of me.
You're
trying to get
professional, my friend.
I'm trying to get so good at remembering them that I don't even need a card. I can just be able to do it.
And we appreciate all of them.
Yes. And our folks over at LDS 3D, they also are going to be a name mentioned at the end of each episode.
Fantastic.
Now they've up there.
I love their new ads.
Yeah. There will be newer ads for the holiday season coming
Wonderful.
on.
Something about it to enjoy something on a cold winter's morning when it's July.
Yeah. Yeah. It's the moment you've been waiting for. I feel bad. I
bought the product and I've enjoyed it.
Yeah, I just hear it and I go, I on multiple occasions have shouted out loud, am I the only one?
No, I love it. I love it. It's memorable.
We'll be saving a seat for you
On the back row
of
of
the Cultural Hall.
Save me a seat, it's sure to be neat.